Hi, welcome. I'm Elizabeth Capoletti, licensed marriage and family therapist. Today I want to talk to you about grounding, what it is and why we might want to use it. So I don't know about you, but I even experience sometimes where my head just goes to a place and gets me stressed out, and maybe I might have something that has been really upsetting that has happened in the past, and I get triggered to remember it, and I can't get myself out of that spot, or it seems like I can't get myself out of that spot. I start having different thoughts or visual images of different things. And so a grounding technique is something that helps you to get out of that space. I work with a lot of clients who've experienced a lot of different traumas that have happened in their life. And when they have, when you hear about PTSD, so a certain sound or an image or a smell can bring up just like you're in that place again. And so how to get yourself out of that mental and physical space. Well, you're not in that physical space, but it feels like you're in that place. So some techniques that you can use to get yourself out of that. So I previously did a meditation that is a grounding technique, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. If you want to learn more about it, go ahead. There'll be a link below to find that audio that you can listen to. So they call it like the five senses, or maybe you can, like, sometimes it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But what you would do is you would recognize 5 things that you can actually see in your environment. So right now I'm going to go based off of the visual field that you can see. So I can see the shiny white on this pillow right here, and on my foot I can see like the pinkish nail polish that I'm wearing on my toes. I can see the purple sparkles on my fingernails. I can see the white and blue sparkles in my necklace. So just kind of just going through that, listing off different things that you can see. So you do 5 there. And then and really important before I move on, 5 things that you can actually see. I had somebody who's so in his head, he once said to me, "You mean what I can see in my mind's eye?" And I was like, no, that's where I want to get you out of. So then what I typically do, and like I said, you can go down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but I like to do this one in addition with 5, is 5 things that I can physically feel. So I can physically feel my right leg resting upon my left knee. I can feel the tightness of my jeans on my pants. I'll be vulnerable here and say I can feel the tightness of my jeans on my stomach. I can feel my hair where it's resting here on my neck. I could feel the lipstick that I just put on. So I don't know how many that is, but you're just gonna keep going, right? And then things that you can hear. So I just heard somebody come in through the front door of my office. I can hear the jingling of their keys. I can hear the cars as they go by on the freeway. I can hear my voice. I can hear the sound of the clock. I can hear my breath. And as we start to go through this, like, sometimes it's hard. I've had clients like, I don't hear anything else. I'm like, okay, well, stop and just listen, because you can hear yourself swallow saliva. There's so many different things. We just have to stop. I mean, if you think about an animal, like our dogs or cats, they can hear so many different things, right? And I'm not expecting you to have the same sound ability as a cat or a dog, but if you stop and listen and you really put your focus into that, you'll be able to hear that. So then the next couple are a little bit difficult. Maybe this is why would they go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It would be your sense of smell. So what can you smell in your environment? So maybe a good smell, maybe a bad smell. We're not really labeling it, but just getting really present. And you might not be able to describe it, but at least just get really connected with that. And then once you do that, do taste in your mouth. So for me, I was drinking like a ginger lemon tea before, and I can feel the sensation of the ginger in my mouth still. And I can taste the lemon a little bit. So that's a pleasant one for me. But if you go through a technique like that, it can really help. I had a client once who had really bad PTSD. He had been a firefighter previously, and as you can imagine, they see a lot of really traumatic stuff. And so some of the things that he had seen would just get really etched in his mind and would just pop up sometimes. And I remember he told me he once had a therapist who told him, like, oh, well, you're just gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have it for the rest of your life. And I was like, oh, that is a horrible thing to say. And for me, I always want to find a solution and try and find a way to help somebody. So I researched and I came upon this, and it really helped him a great deal. It changed his life, in fact, to be able to do this and get grounded. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. Sometimes if it's really, really intense, I know this sounds crazy and silly, but if you it's too much for you, hold a piece of ice. The sensation of the ice will start to hurt in your hand, and it's hard not to focus on that. So, and I often tell people, because I have some clients that come to me who self-harm, so they might cut themselves or do things that hurt themselves, and what that does is it really gets them out of their head. Now, I'm definitely not encouraging anything of that sort, and in fact, if that's something you struggle with, try doing what I just went through with you. Try holding a piece of ice. Another thing you can do, listen to music. Really pay attention to the different sounds of the different instruments. Go for a walk, and then just really try and use your 5 senses to get grounded. You're trying to get out of your head. And you guys, this is why I'm trying to teach the mindfulness stuff so much, because it teaches us to, instead of being like a servant to our mind, where it just takes control and just lets us spin like a hamster in a wheel, it helps us to recognize where we're at and to get right here, right now. Because if I'm having the thoughts of something that makes me really anxious or upsetting, whether it's I have to get in front of a bunch of people and speak, or I have to have a confrontation with somebody, or I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble about something, whatever is going on in my head, physiologically, I'm going to have that reaction in my body as if it's happening, and those messages just go back and forth. So now I'm having these stuff go on in my body. Maybe my heart is starting to beat really fast, my palms are sweating, I'm starting to shake, and then those messages in your body continue to tell your brain that something's not right, we need to be nervous and anxious, and your brain continues to try and figure out a way out of this whole thing. So this kind of interrupts the process. Other things that you can do, getting your feet, there's actually a technique that I've heard about called grounding, that is you put your feet on the earth. So literally, like, not on the concrete, but putting your feet on the grass, putting your feet in the sand, and just really feeling that underneath you. And there's like a whole science behind that. I don't know a whole lot. I will learn more, and I'll share with you what I learn. But doing stuff like that, or watching a movie that's really funny, that really gets you engaged just in some way or another. It doesn't have to be funny, but I'm trying to pull you out of being sad or like angry, so funny can help. Maybe having a list of movies that you can go to watch. There's a lot of different things. Playing a game, petting an animal, doing that. Doing that can help you like lower your blood pressure. It's amazing just what happens in your body if you can pet an animal that you feel comfortable with. It's really amazing. So here are just a few techniques that you can do. I hope that you can try some of these. If there's more that you'd like to share with me or share with everybody else, I'd love to hear those. So thank you so much, and I hope you try these out.